Hey my friends, welcome to this video. I'm going to be sharing about my favorite healing practice and my favorite, most powerful healing combination that everybody can use and everybody needs to know. And it is the beautiful combination of using herbs and sounds together. So I'm going to be sharing a few different combinations and what that would be helpful with, and also just some of my own practice that I do so that you know exactly how to do it yourself. So when I say herbs, I mean you can use any medicine that you're taking. It could even be a supplement. But for me, I absolutely love making homemade medicine. I love drying herbs for teas. I love making herb tinctures. And so those would be my two primary ways of using herbs, in teas and in tinctures, and sometimes even both, combining the two. So when I get the time amongst busy life and motherhood, I like to create a more intentional, almost ceremonial practice for myself when I'm taking any medicinal herbs for whatever reason. I am really into sound healing. I absolutely love sound healing and frequency medicine. And so I actually have my own set of singing bowls, crystal singing bowls here. So this is what I'll be referring to in this video, but you can get all of this online on YouTube or Spotify or whatever music streaming things that you listen to. There is endless sound healing available online. So even if you don't have the instruments in real life, you can absolutely access it online. And I also like to add in a third dimension, which is voice, which is something that we can add ourselves at home. This of course is optional. I mean, it's all optional. This is just if you want to add another extra layer of that healing hum that is just such a powerful form of medicine that we have within our bodies. So then we've got that triple layer going on. I mean, there's probably even more layers. You've got your intention and all the rest of it as well. But the three main layers, you've got the herbs that are doing that physical supporting of whatever system or organ or tissues that you're wanting to do healing on. Then you've got the sound, which corresponds to that specific part of your body. And then if you add in the healing hum, that resonates to the same frequency, the same sound, the same note as the healing sound frequencies, then you've got that internal vibration working on a frequency on a physical level too. So you've got like the outside sound and the inside sound both just harmonizing whatever it is that's going on in your body that you're wanting to bring back into balance. So I'd like to start with a really good example of a really lovely womb healing practice. So one of my favorite herbs for womb healing is raspberry leaf. So making a tea out of raspberry leaf, you can do a hot infusion, a cold infusion. If you don't like it as bitter, then cold infusion is probably best. Just brew it in the fridge overnight and then enjoy it the next day. I even like to add some rose to my raspberry leaf so you've got that womb and heart connection going on. For example, having a cup of raspberry leaf tea and then adding some of this rose tincture would be such a lovely one for womb healing. And then the notes that I would be using would be for the sacral chakra, the womb area, which would be note D. And so I would be tuning into what I'm wanting to create for my womb in that moment, in that practice. And I would drink that tea with that intention, and I would play my singing bowl that's tuned to the note D that corresponds with the sacral chakra. And then if I feel like it, I would also add in that hum to the same note. And honestly, doing a practice like this is just so powerful. Whether you can do it for 10 minutes or an hour, like you can do a lot in even just a little 10-minute practice when you're using such powerful, potent medicine as sound and herbs. And so another really nice one for anybody wanting to really reclaim that sense of safety in their body, soothe their nervous system, bring down that stress in the body and bring that level of calm. My absolute favorite herb for this is tulsi. So I have a tulsi tincture here. You can also have tulsi tea. Tulsi tincture is just really potent, really powerful. And so again, just having that medicine, whether it's a few drops of tincture in water or a nice cup of tea. And then the note that I would bring in for this would be for the root chakra, note C. So that real kind of grounding, safety and security, calmness energy. Then moving on to supporting the liver, supporting that place where so many of us store a lot of anger, that suppressed, unexpressed anger, which is sadly so common for any of us with a history of a lot of trauma, but also just modern day living. You know, we've got a lot of stress going on. We've also got a heck of a lot of toxins, and the liver is really the biggest worker in that, at detoxing our bodies. And so it can be really overburdened from the suppressed anger, from the daily lifestyle stress, from the endless toxins that so many of us are exposed to. And so the herb that I absolutely love for liver support is actually dandelion root. Now I call this my lovely root tincture. If you've seen the video of my daughter as I was pulling up these roots from the garden, it's very cute. She is a root enthusiast just like myself. She's only 2, she's nearly 3, but she's already a wonderful herbalist. She knows a lot. And so dandelion root is such a wonderful supporter of liver health. And so again, just bringing in that intention of whatever it is, whether that's to support detox, whether that's to help metabolize and move out any suppressed and stored anger. You can have dandelion root as a tea. You can also have it as like a coffee, like a roasted dandelion root. The most potent form though that I've come across is dandelion root tincture, because it really extracts all that goodness out of it. And so having whatever form of dandelion root along with the sound that supports the solar plexus chakra, that's where our liver is, and so the note E is going to be the most supportive for that practice. Another part of the dandelion is dandelion leaf. So again, I've got some dandelion leaf tincture here, but I often use it in tea as well. And this is more supportive of the kidneys. And so that is where we tend to hold a lot of fear. So again, unfortunately, something that is left behind after a lot of trauma, or even just, being super aware of the state of the world today, can also inflict a lot of that fear. And so this has been a big one for me. I spent a lot of years having problems with my kidneys, recurring kidney infections, endless antibiotics, multiple hospital trips, and it wasn't until I worked with the emotional suppressed trauma element that no longer affects me. So I had 11 years of these chronic symptoms that stole so much of my life, in my teens and early 20s, and it wasn't until I actually did a lot of that emotional release work, which you'll find is the situation for the majority of chronic symptoms and chronic illnesses, is that when we find that suppressed emotion and we gently work with that and we resolve it and release that from the body, that is when many of us experience our symptoms just poof, disappear like magic. And so working with the dandelion leaf, supporting the kidneys, and then bringing in some sound. Now this, you could work with solar plexus or sacral. I would say the kidneys, and particularly if you're also including like the urinary tract and the bladder area, that would be more sacral chakra. So again, that note D will be super, super helpful at bringing in that support for your kidney area. And lastly, the other example that I want to share is for heart healing. I've actually got 3 herbs that I want to mention here, because I feel like so many of us experience different issues with the heart and the heart area. And it is such a part of the human experience that many of us experience suffering in this way, whether that's through grief, whether that's through heartbreak. There's just a lot that our hearts go through. And so my favorite heart remedies are, of course, hawthorn. Now this is actually a little mini pot of hawthorn syrup that I made with my daughter, who picked the berries all by herself and she stirred it all in. I'm personally waiting until after the first frost, but she wanted to get picking early, so that's what she did. So hawthorn is a really powerful heart medicine. It can actually heal mild heart failure. There's a lot that hawthorn can do to support the heart. And of course, with heart disease being like still the leading cause of death in the world, even though where these heart problems are most prevalent is also often where hawthorn grows, Hawthorn grows in many places in the world. And so really, if people knew about this medicine, it's wild, it's free, it's so readily available for so many people. Like, I'm absolutely surrounded by it here, and I just think, if only everyone knew of the medicines all around us. And so I'll be making a tincture and also an oxymel with hawthorn and rosehip after the first frost. But you can have tea, you can have some syrup in a tea, you can have tincture, particularly if you're somebody experiencing actual physical heart issues going on, and it may be really, really helpful there. And of course, the note for the heart chakra, is the note F. Another one that is absolutely so beautiful for the heart is, of course, rose. Now this is my little rose petal tincture. I need to get some more amber glass bottles, I've run out. But rose, I'm sure we all know, is just the ultimate heart medicine. It's just the ultimate remedy of love. It's such a beautiful frequency to work with. I'm obsessed. I've always been obsessed with rose. And so bringing in that rose medicine, and honestly, I like to include rose in many of my healing journeys and involve the heart in many other parts of the body, because our heart is that center. It's so powerful, it's our most powerful energy center, and it's really where our most power lies as humans. And so bringing that in and involving that with the other parts of the body. Okay, so I'm just editing my video and I've noticed my phone has clipped off the end of that video. So what I was saying was bringing in that heart medicine into any healing journey, bringing in that love and compassion for ourselves is such an important aspect, if not the most important aspect of any healing journey, no matter what we're trying to heal. And so I just wanted to add that in, that heart healing isn't just for the heart, it's for every other part of us as well. And I just wanted to share the last herb that I wanted to mention for this heart chakra area of the body, but this time focusing on the lungs, is actually the herb mullein. Now, this is an incredible lung remedy, and the lungs are, of course, within that heart chakra area. And the lungs are also where we tend to hold on to a lot of suppressed grief. So if you're somebody that has a lot of lung issues or feels a kind of pain or discomfort in that area of your body, and you're also somebody who is carrying grief, then mullein is a really lovely one to support that journey. And again, combining it with that beautiful heart chakra note F for that fully immersive healing experience. And so those are just some examples, but the concept of this way of healing truly is fundamental to all of the work that I love to share within the realms of self-healing. You know, combining the physical with the energetic, the herbs with the music, our own internal voice, our own internal intention, you know, just really coming back to that immense power that we all have within ourselves, and by just using very simple tools to create the most potent medicine. You know, we really do live in a world that is so full of endless resources and healing solutions. And so I hope this video was helpful and inspired some remembrance within you that you are so powerful and medicine truly is all around. Let me know in the comments if you've tried any of these combinations or if you've got any other ones that you absolutely love. I'd love to hear from you. And I hope you have a beautiful day wherever you are. And I'm sending you so much love.